building a relationship, either with culture or with Christ. So as you're reading that, you're thinking, what does it have to do with my teen? Who's the audience for this? Well, parents, the audience is you, but the audience is your teen. So I'd like you to imagine the scene. You're sitting down at the dining room table with your whole family. Say, kids, let's talk about relationships. You look at your son or your daughter and say, what I'd like you to do is go upstairs, here's a phone or here's a laptop, and just get addicted to pornography. I want you to get self-gratification down to a T where nothing else except for that will help you in a relationship. Son or daughter, this is healthy. Culture says, go do this. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It must be a great thing. And then when you start to date, only do it on text message and Snapchat and WhatsApp, and only do that. I don't want you to know what it's like to have a face-to-face conversation. That stuff isn't important. And oh, by the way, honey or kiddo, hook up whenever. Hook up with whoever. It's all about you. The world says, if it's not hurting me, go do what you want. Okay, none of us would have that conversation with our kid because none of us want that for our child. The problem is some of us as adults have become numb to this. We've grown up through an age when electronics boomed and pornography hit everywhere. Now, a lot of men are unable to have sex with their wives. A lot of wives have just accepted this as a norm. And relationships are busted, but yet we continue, our culture, to say, this is okay. Our boys are confused. Our girls are objectified. Nobody really knows what's what. And if you tell somebody they're wrong about doing something, they yell at you for being judgmental. It's confusing. So let's look at a different side, though. Imagine you're sitting down at the dining room table with your family and say, hey, kiddo, let's talk about relationships. Have you ever read about how Christ talked about the church, the bride and the groom? No, what are you talking about? Well, have you ever read about how Christ interacted with people? Not just his disciples, the woman at the well. Have you ever witnessed how he interacted and he built these friendships? No, I never noticed. Imagine we sat down and we went through scripture with our kids and said, this is a model for how to have friendships. Let's take that a step further. Being equally yoked, imagine not cows, but oxen out in the field and they're plowing and they got the thing around their neck, right? And there are two oxes and the person's pushing them through the field. Well, because they're in the yoke, they have to go in the same direction. If they're not equally yoked, they go in separate directions. So what that phrase means for our teens is if your teen is dating someone that has drastically different morals and values, don't be surprised when they follow that. If you think that your teen is a virgin, you're trying to establish a good, healthy relationship for your teen, but they're dating somebody that doesn't care about when they have sex or who they have sex with, don't be surprised when your teen follows in those footsteps. So our role as parents is to raise our children to follow Christ. So what we're trying to do here is set up the difference, right? To set up the difference of following the culture, which is proven to be wrong decade after decade, going all the way back until the beginning of time. Culture is always leading us in the wrong direction. The Bible never does. Jesus never does. So let's separate for our kids, establishing a relationship, both friends and intimate, following the culture or following Jesus.